In the gentle embrace of dawn's early light, the village of Brighthollow lay nestled beside the vast expanse of the Sapphire Sea, a quaint and humble hamlet where the murmurs of waves mingled with the rustle of thatched roofs. This village, though modest and unassuming, had an ancient heart beating beneath its cobblestone paths, a heart that whispered of days long past when the grand tales of Arendelle still lingered within the minds of its elders. Here dwelt Elenor, a soul of quiet resolve and wistful dreams, whose gaze often lingered upon the horizon where the crystalline waters met the azure sky. She resided in a cottage by the shore, where the scent of salt and the song of seabirds filled the air. Her hands were ever busy with the tasks of the day, yet her mind often wandered to realms unseen, prompted by the starlit visions that visited her in the night. The people of Brighthollow knew Elenor as a gentle spirit, yet her heart held an unquenchable yearning, a desire kindled by stories told at the hearth and the echoes of legends carried on the wind. In her lineage was whispered mystery, for she descended from a line of wanderers and keepers of lore, entrusted with the secret of the once great kingdom, Arendelle. Yet the tales often told were but embers of a brighter flame, of a kingdom lost to time and memory. One fateful eve, as silver beams of moonlight danced upon the sea, Elenor found herself drawn to the attic of her father's house. It was a place seldom visited, where dust clung to forgotten relics and shadows wove their gentle embrace around the past. There she discovered a scroll, a curious parchment adorned with intricate etchings and an unearthly glow. Its presence felt both alien and familiar, a whisper from a forgotten age. Unfurling the scroll, she beheld an ancient map etched with lines that spoke of lands veiled in mystery, and at its heart the sigil of an emerald crystal gleamed, a symbol she had known only in dreams. It was then that the words of the prophecy echoed within her heart, for among the elder oaks where spirits of the past lingered, she had heard tell of the lost Heart of Eldoria. Thus was the call to adventure laid upon her shoulders, and an ember of destiny ignited within her soul. She stood poised at the precipice of fate, aware of both danger and promise, faced with a decision to leave her life of simple comforts. With each moment, the ordinary world grew more distant, a tapestry of emerald meadows and golden sands woven with the strange and unfamiliar. Yet fear lingered, for she knew well the perils of such a journey. Who was she to brave the wilderness, to seek a realm shrouded in myth and shadow? The village elders spoke of dolors that came upon those who sought the forbidden, and duty pulled her heart toward the familiar. Yet the call, magnificent in its urgency, echoed still stronger. From the depths of her conflicted heart, a voice of counsel emerged, a figure revered as mentor and sage, who dwelt at the edge of the village within a grove where the ancient spirits spoke in hushed reverence. Elenor sought this venerable guide to lend her counsel, for in her heart she yearned to understand the echoes of forgotten dreams and the path upon which she must tread. Thus began the story that would bind the fate of Elenor and her companions, a tale of courage and wonder, woven by the hands of forgotten kings, spun with the threads of destiny. Though the shadows hung heavily upon the land, she felt the beating heart of her ancestors' call, beckoning from the mist-covered shores to the looming peaks where her journey must commence. In the tranquil wood that encircled Brighthollow like an ancient sentry stood an enclave of tall oak and pines, where sunlight dared only to dapple the forest floor. Here, amidst the quiet rustle of leaves and the chorus of nature's hymns, Elenor ventured with a heart full of both trepidation and hope. Her steps barely disturbed the earth, whispering a sacred rhythm that mingled with the soft call of woodland creatures and the whisper of the breeze among the branches. Within this sacred grove lay the dwelling of her mentor, an abode as much a part of the forest as the trees themselves, built of ancient wood and entwined with vines, crowned with the moss of ages. It was here that the venerable sage, Kalar, resided. The villagers spoke of him with a quiet reverence, for he was one with the old world and bore the wisdom of countless moons. Upon Eleanor's approach, Kalar awaited her beneath the arch of an ancient oak, whose limbs stretched like guardian arms across the sky. His robes, a tapestry of earth and twilight hues, flowed with a grace that mirrored the gentle sway of the earth's embrace. Eyes, keen and knowing as the stars, met Eleanor's own, and in them shone the light of understanding and the weight of hidden truths. "Elenor of Brighthollow," spoke Kalar, his voice a melodic echo within the grove. "The winds speak your name, carrying tales of distant lands. Their murmurs reach even these ancient ears." "I have heard the call, master," Elenor replied, her voice trembling like a young leaf. "Yet fear binds me as surely as the roots of the trees bind the earth." Kalar nodded, a gentle smile curving upon his lips. "Indeed, fear is a shadow that walks beside us all. Yet from the shadow light is born. Dares the brave heart to tread where doubt would linger. You must uncover the truth of your heart's desire and the wisdom bequeathed to you by a lineage long hidden. The map you discovered is but the beginning of that journey." With patient hands, he withdrew from the depths of his robe an amulet wrought of silver and emerald, a sigil she recognized from the very map that haunted her dreams. "This," he said, "is a gift from the ages. Know it, and it shall know you. A talisman of guidance and protection, forged in the fires of an age now veiled in myths." As Elenor accepted the amulet, she felt a warmth spread through her fingers, a vibrant life awakening within its core. "What path must I take, wise one?" she asked, though the glint within her eyes hinted at a newfound resolve. Keller's gaze turned eastward, past the whispering rivers and starlit hills. "You shall venture to the Elderwood to seek the secrets kept therein by the Shade Wardens. There lies knowledge of the Heart of Eldoria, and perhaps allies who will aid your quest. But take heed, perils abound both without and within your heart." Elenor listened, the taste of adventure a sweet and unfamiliar nectar upon her tongue. Here was purpose, unspoken yet felt, binding her to an unbroken chain of destiny. With a bow of deepest gratitude, she felt the threads of doubt begin to unravel. Thus prepared by the words of wisdom and the gift bestowed, she bade farewell to her mentor and returned to Brighthollow, where her hearth awaited one last night of solidarity. With the dawn would she take her first true steps into the world beyond her ken, where shadows and light danced in eternal contest, and the fate of a lost kingdom fluttered like a banner in her mind. And so, as the golden hue of evening descended upon the village, Elenor stood upon the threshold of change, her heart a beacon in the gathering dusk, forever marked by the legacy that called her from the stillness of an ordinary world to the living tapestry of her forebears. In the gentle embrace of the dawning morning, Elenor awoke to the familiar caress of the sea breeze that whispered through her window, bearing upon it the scent of salt and mystery. Her final night spent within the comforting walls of her home had been one of quiet reflection, a last farewell to all that she had known, to friends and kin, to hearth and haven. With the golden light of morning painting her surroundings in hues of warmth and promise, Elenor gathered what few belongings her journey allowed, each piece a fragment of her ordinary life, simple garb, provisions for the road, and of course the amulet given by Kalar. It gleamed, a sliver of emerald fire, around her neck as a constant reminder of purpose and protection. The village of Brighthollow, ever vibrant with life, seemed suspended in the solemnity of her departure. As she walked the cobbled paths toward the outskirts of her home, the villagers gathered, some with tears, others with heartfelt blessings. Old Bronwyn, with her silvered wisp of hair, pressed a parcel into Eleanor's hands, her eyes crinkling beneath the burden of unspoken words. "For luck and safe return," the elder whispered, her voice quivering with emotion. Elenor offered a grateful smile, bowing her head to the kindness bestowed upon her by these dear souls. With each step, the path that led eastward unfolded before her, a ribbon of promise that wound through emerald meadows dotted with wildflowers, beyond which lay the world of all her dreams. As she crossed the village boundary, the familiar landscape melted into the mystique of the unknown, and she found herself surrounded by nature's symphony, a cacophony of chirping crickets and the gentle rustle of towering trees swaying in the breath of morning. The road stretched ahead, leading her farther from the safety of the mundane and deeper into realms untouched by time. She traveled throughout the morn, her heart a drum echoing in her chest as shadows shifted with the rising sun. The path guided her through woodland glades and by trickling brooks, and she marveled at the world unfolding around her, a land that seemed to listen and watch with ancient eyes. In the afternoon, Elenor found herself at the edge of the Elderwood, a forest known in whispers among the folk of Brighthollow for its enchanted beauty and perilous secrets. The trees here reached to the skies, shrouding the world in a cathedral of green and gold light. Gathering her courage, she ventured into this wood that stood with a primeval grace, her footfalls muted by the rich, moss-carpeted ground. The air was thick with the scent of earth and growth, and every snap of a twig seemed magnified, echoing 1,000-fold among the lofty boughs. The Elderwood was a realm unto itself, where time flowed like a languid stream and the wonders of yore whispered in every leaf. Her heart thrummed with cautious excitement, each step drawing her closer to the fabled shade wardens, keepers of secrets deep buried beneath ages of leaf and loam. Eleanor's path led her to a clearing, bathed in the dappled glow of the sun, where stood figures cloaked in the forest's hue, the wardens of shade. Their presence was solemn, their eyes aglow with wisdom and curiosity alike. "Welcome, Elenor of Brighthollow," spoke the foremost warden, his voice a rumble of gentle authority. "We have awaited you, seeker of the heart." Elenor inclined her head respectfully, words failing her as awe welled within her breast. Yet she summoned her voice to ask of them guidance and truth, for her journey was perilous and her knowledge scant. The wardens gathered, offering Elenor their counsel and relics of power, fragments of the great myth that was her inheritance. They spoke of paths forged through shadow and light, of trials and companionship, all while the old world breathed around her in a harmony both haunting and beautiful. In the embrace of the Elderwood's mysteries, Elenor found herself at a crossroads where her courage would be tested against the weight of destiny. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows upon the forest floor, she stood among the wardens of shade, those ancient guardians whose wisdom breathed life into the tales of old. The evening air was cool, and the whispers of the wind intertwined with the rustling leaves, creating a symphony that seemed to pulse with the heart of the earth itself. The wardens, clad in cloaks of mossy green, circled around her, their eyes glimmering like stars peeking through the canopy above. "Elenor, daughter of Brighthollow," intoned the eldest of the wardens, his voice a gentle rumble that echoed through the glen. "The path you tread is one not easily walked, yet within you lies the strength of your ancestors, the wanderers who once trod these lands before they were shrouded in the mists of time." Elenor nodded, feeling the weight of their words settle into her being. Her heart, a beacon in the gathering night, beat with renewed resolve. "I am but a humble seeker," she replied, "yet my soul burns with the knowledge that the Heart of Eldoria may still be found. If you, wise wardens, know the way, I beg for your guidance." A younger warden stepped forward, bearing in his hands a fragment of crystal that caught the dim light, casting a kaleidoscope of colors upon the forest floor. "This shard," he explained, "is but a piece of the heart, a compass that may guide you should your spirit resonate with its truth. But beware, not all paths are straightforward, and not all shadows hide enemies." Elenor accepted the shard, its surface cool and smooth against her palm. As she held it, a faint warmth spread through her fingertips, and the shapes and contours of the forest around her became clearer, more vivid, as if touched by the brilliance of the sun. The wardens continued their counsel late into the night, weaving tales of forgotten friendships and whispered dangers that lay in wait. Elenor listened intently, her mind a canvas upon which legends were painted in vivid detail. They spoke of allies she might find, those who, like her, sought the truth of Eldoria without fear of its shadows. As the first light of dawn began to paint the sky in hues of amber and rose, the wardens bestowed upon Elenor a cloak woven from the leaves of the ancients, imbued with the protection of the forest. "May its threads bind you to the wisdom of the earth," the elder warden murmured, "and may you find what is lost, not only in the world, but within yourself." With heartfelt gratitude, Elenor bid farewell to the wardens, her heart full of their teachings and the soft resonance of the shard of the Heart of Eldoria. She stepped back onto the path, guided not only by the light of the waking day, but also by the inner light that stirred within her. As she journeyed onward, the Elderwood unfurled before her, its mysteries beckoning with every step. Elenor knew her quest had only just begun, for far to the east, beyond the towering peaks and shadowed vales, lay the true heart of her destiny. Thus, Her feet trod upon the path less traveled, a journey of discovery and transformation, one that would test the very fiber of her being and challenge the legacy she carried within her soul. The symphony of nature sang her onward, ever onward, through the realm where dreams entwined with reality and hopes were kindled in.